Right, it's 5-3. You've heard from Lily Collins, Mortal Instruments, City of Bones. A number of you have seen it. We'll get to your emails in just a moment. This is what Mark thinks.
I thought it was very disappointing. I mean, the funny thing is that clearly what it wants to do is fill the Twilight gap, with sort of post Buffy stuff, and it already there's an established mythology there to work from, and that's what it's aiming for. As you say at the beginning, the fact that it's a colon tells you that there's more of this stuff coming, and you're talking about the second one being shot, and I remember going to see Beautiful Creatures, and I thought Beautiful Creatures was actually going to work for the people who bereft in the absence of a new Twilight movie, and of course it didn't. I mean, Beautiful Creatures took no money at all. I really liked it. I thought it was smart and funny and intelligent and kind of moving, and it worked. But it didn't work with the audience. In the case of this, the reason it doesn't work with the audience is, for a start, it's much too long. I mean, it's 2 hours and 10 minutes, and it really needs to be 90 minutes tops. And it makes the key mistake of concentrating on the mythology and the backstory as opposed to the relationships. I mean, there's loads and loads of these, Twilight inflected tales in which there's sort of centrally a love triangle. And then all this other stuff happens around it. But in the case of this, you just spend the first half an hour. I mean, every single character is playing Basil Exposition. The amount of explaining they do about there's the thises and the that and the Shadowhunter and the dingy bongs, and he comes from the fifth line of and the whole film plays like the opening screed at the beginning of Phantom Menace. And you just think, I don't care. I don't care. The way this works is you get people interested in the characters and in their relationships and the tensions between their relationships, and then all the other stuff. The fact that one of them's a vampire, one of them's a werewolf, one of them's a shadow chaser, one of them's a demon,
Shadowhunter,
whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter, because in the end, that stuff is window dressing. But in the case of this, it's not window dressing. It's the film. If you're not interested in all that stuff, then there's not enough to get you. And the reason it troubled me is, I was a big fan of the Twilight movies, and I know you enjoyed them too. And I did like Beautiful Creatures, and I wanted more people to like it because Emma Thompson was absolutely fabulous in it. And it's a shame that it didn't do better, but it didn't. But in the case of this, you just think, I can see why this wouldn't work. Because it's uninteresting. Because the stuff between the characters doesn't have that romantic allure. It doesn't. It's just a bunch of people walking around in goth clothes. I mean, it was interesting in that conversation how much was talked about the leather. And you end up watching the film, it's like a Joel Schumacher film. You are watching a film made by a set designer. It's a bunch of people wearing costumes. I mean, people make that criticism of Twilight, that in the final battle in Twilight, it looks like they've all spent, half an hour doing their hair before turning up for the final battle. You go, yes, but I care about them. No matter how much time they've spent doing their hair and makeup, I still care about them. It was too long. It got really boring as it went on and on. I mean, 90 minutes in, it sort of looked like it was resolving. And then there was a whole other 40, 50 minutes of film to continue. There's this thing about, he's your brother, she's your sister, he's not, he is, maybe he isn't, I don't know, are they? And what you ought to be doing is thinking, oh, this is really intriguing. How are these relationships going to work out? And all I kept thinking was, how much longer are they going to talk about this stuff? And even with all the running around and the special effects and the stuff, it was very boring. Didn't you think?
Well, I do agree, because I think the mistake that they... First of all, there's too much mythology.
Yeah.
Twilight is an oasis of simplicity in comparison, but Twilight goes absolutely demented.
In the final act.
Yeah, exactly. This goes demented within half an hour, and it just is, in that spitting image line, it peaks too soon.
It does.
And it does that after 30 minutes. Whoa, hang on a second. No, you're going far too fast here. So they're clearly doing another one, because she's about to be filming it any moment now.
And and she's a good actress.
You're not a 15-year-old girl. Do you think you might have missed something?
No, I agree that that's the case. I'm not a 15-year-old girl, but on the basis of somebody who loved Twilight, somebody who really wanted Beautiful Creatures to do better than it did, I think that it fails. So I'm not a teenage girl, but I am somebody who liked the things that I think this movie thinks its audience will like.